Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to explore the Craig Ferguson charm, mastering playful conversation. I'm excited to share how Craig Ferguson's unique style has made him a standout host in Hollywood. We'll look at what makes his approach so captivating and how it influences conversations, especially with celebrities. So, let's dive in and discover the secrets behind his playful and charming persona. Of course, Craig Ferguson had the advantage of being a charismatic TV host. But if you look closely at what he actually does in conversation, most of his charm comes from repeatable habits that anyone can learn to use in daily life. These techniques aren't about memorizing lines. They're about cultivating a playful, confident presence that makes people want to be around you. So, what are these habits? Well, Craig has 7 powerful habits that you can adopt to instantly build chemistry and make your conversations unforgettable. First, start positive and enthusiastic. This sets a friendly tone right from the beginning. Next, tease with playful absurdity, using humor that's a little unexpected but lighthearted. Then, tease yourself too, showing humility and making yourself more relatable. Fourth, playfully misinterpret what others say, adding a bit of humor and keeping the conversation lively. Fifth, use innuendo and light sexual humor carefully, which can create a sense of flirtation and fun. Sixth, flirt with the world. Show interest and curiosity about everything around you. And finally, master comfort with awkwardness, embracing those moments instead of trying to hide them, which actually makes you more charming. These habits all tie back to the overall theme: building a playful, confident presence that naturally draws people in and makes conversations memorable. Let's start with the idea of beginning our conversations on a positive and enthusiastic note. Most people tend to kick things off with flat, routine greetings like "Hi" or "How are you?" But Craig does something different. He jumps right into high-energy positivity, often with a compliment. And here's the interesting part: he chooses his words carefully. Instead of saying something simple like "You look great," he might say, "You look absolutely enchanting," or "sensational." Those kinds of vivid, unique compliments really light people up because they feel personal and rare. The key takeaway here is that you want to start your interactions with just a bit more energy than what's around you. For example, in a coffee shop, that might mean smiling more and speaking slightly louder than usual. In a noisy bar, it might mean using big, expressive body language. Remember, energy is what sets the emotional tone for the whole interaction. So by starting with a little extra enthusiasm, you're creating a positive atmosphere right from the start. So in this part of the presentation, I want to talk about how Craig uses playful absurdity to create a fun and engaging atmosphere. He balances genuine compliments with exaggerated teasing, which keeps the conversation lively and unpredictable. The key here is that teasing should be playful, not mean-spirited. When you ask absurd rhetorical questions like, "You don't drink coffee. How long have you been in Al-Qaeda?" it's clearly ridiculous. Because of that, the other person feels safe laughing rather than feeling insulted. Another important strategy he uses is calling out cliches. For example, if someone mentions being vegan or gluten-free, he playfully highlights that stereotype. This gently challenges them and encourages them to stand out, making the conversation more dynamic and fun. Overall, the goal is to sprinkle in absurdity just enough to surprise and entertain, while creating a sense of safety and connection. This approach keeps the interaction light, engaging, and memorable, perfect for building rapport and making conversations more enjoyable. So let's talk about why Craig's jokes never come across as mean-spirited. It's because he teases himself just as much as he teases others. By poking fun at his own quirks, he makes it clear that it's all in good fun. He's not criticizing anyone, he's just playing around. The key takeaway here is that if teasing feels a bit intimidating at first, start by making yourself the target. It's a simple trick that instantly creates warmth and helps lower people's defenses. When you're willing to laugh at yourself, it sets a friendly tone and makes others more comfortable joining in. So remember, self-teasing isn't just about humor. It's a powerful way to connect and build rapport with your audience or your team. All right, let's talk about one of Craig's most powerful habits: playful misinterpretation. What he does is take a normal, straightforward statement and twist it into something unexpected, something a little absurd or cheeky. For example, if a guest says, "I don't swim much," Craig might reply, "Really? What do you do when it's thirsty time?" That little twist not only catches people off guard, but also adds humor to the interaction. The key point here is that these misinterpretations serve two main purposes. First, they make people laugh, which lightens the mood and builds rapport. Second, they shift the focus of flirting from just exchanging information to creating emotions, making the interaction more memorable and engaging. Ultimately, playful misinterpretation is about connecting on an emotional level, and it's a great tool to keep conversations lively and fun. This approach aligns perfectly with the overall theme of creating genuine, memorable connections through playful and intentional communication. So, one of Craig's signature techniques is using innuendo and light sexual humor to keep things flirty yet appropriate. The key is to go there first with a playful joke, so it doesn't feel targeted or uncomfortable. This way, the humor sets the tone and makes it clear it's all in good fun. Next, he often uses phrases with double meanings, innocent on the surface, but with a little extra spice underneath. This keeps the conversation playful and engaging without crossing any lines. And perhaps most importantly, he doesn't linger on these jokes. After making the playful comment, he moves on quickly. This keeps the flirtation light and breezy, so it doesn't come across as needy or awkward. For example, when Mila Kunis played the harmonica, Craig joked, "Take your time, don't just rush in there blowing and sucking." It's outrageous, sure, but because he delivers it casually and moves on, it lands as hilarious, not creepy. So the overall takeaway is that using innuendo and light humor, combined with quick transitions, helps maintain a flirtatious vibe that's fun, engaging, and respectful. So here's an interesting point about Craig's approach. He doesn't save his charm just for the women he's attracted to. Instead, he flirts with everyone, whether it's male guests, female guests, or even his live studio audience. By doing this, he keeps himself in a naturally playful state. Flirting becomes effortless because it's part of his overall vibe, not something he has to force or reserve for special moments. This also shapes how others perceive him. Instead of seeming selectively charming or even sleazy, people see him as genuinely charismatic across the board. It's a universal kind of charm that feels authentic. And there's a social proof element here. When everyone's laughing, engaging, and having fun with you, it boosts your attractiveness in the eyes of others. It's a cycle that feeds into itself. The key takeaway is simple but powerful. Don't reserve your playful energy. Share it openly with everyone around you. When you do flirt, it should feel natural, not forced or awkward. That's how you build genuine charisma and create positive social momentum. Let's talk about mastering comfort with awkwardness. Craig, for example, was famous for embracing the awkward pause on his show. Instead of rushing to fill silence or feeling uncomfortable, he actually leaned into it. Sometimes, he'd sit in silence for hilariously long stretches. And you know what? That did two really powerful things. First, it trained him not to fear the worst-case scenario in conversations. He realized that silence isn't something to be feared but an opportunity. Second, it encouraged his guests to lean forward, fill the silence themselves, and that naturally built a deeper sense of intimacy. So the key takeaway here is to expand your comfort zone. Start by striking up casual conversations with strangers, or even sit with silence during interactions rather than rushing to fill every moment. When you become comfortable with discomfort, it actually makes you more magnetic, more engaging and approachable. Remember, it's not about avoiding awkwardness but learning to sit with it and use it to your advantage. Putting it all together, what we're really talking about is developing habits that make you more charming and confident. Craig Ferguson's charm isn't about memorizing clever lines or putting on a show. It's about cultivating behaviors like energy, playfulness, and confidence that naturally attract people. Start with giving unique compliments. Instead of the usual, try to notice something special and genuinely comment on it. Then, don't be afraid to add a bit of light teasing or absurdity. That playful banter can really loosen things up and make interactions more fun. Remember, flirt with the world around you, not just your crush. Be open and engaging with everyone you meet. And even when things get a little awkward, Because they might, you want to stay relaxed and comfortable. That ease is what makes people feel at ease with you too. If you adopt even one of these habits, you'll start noticing that people respond to you with more warmth and attraction. But master several of them, and you'll find yourself walking into any conversation confidently, knowing people are going to enjoy flirting with you, just like Craig Ferguson. It's about making these behaviors a natural part of who you are, and that's what really makes a difference.